Hey there, everybody. Phoenix Aurelius here. Thank you for joining us for this laboratory report for April 2024 from the Phoenix Aurelius Research Academy. I have been teaching a lot of classes here lately, actually two courses, and I just finished up one of them, the Transpersonal Alchemy course, on the 30th, the very last day of April. I'm excited for that class or that course to now be finished because now all of you who didn't get the opportunity to take it live will be able to take it through our online education modules. And it's a self-paced course, so you can go as quickly or as slowly as you want. Each of the classes was between about 2.5 hours to 3 hours long. Maybe edited time made them a little bit shorter than that, but still, it's a very, very thorough course. There's about 25 to 30 hours of coursework in there and some downloads as well of the PDF of all of the slides that I showed. And it's an absolutely fantastic class. So if you are interested in actually transforming yourself or learning about the basis of transpersonal alchemy, then that is hands down the very beginning place to start. It's also the place where I start every single student that comes into the laboratory. Anybody who wants to learn alchemy at all has to start there, or at least wants to learn alchemy with me. And same thing with spagyria. You cannot be a good spagyrist unless you have a very strong alchemical and philosophic background. And that course definitely provides all of that within the Aurelian context. So it was really, really great. I've taught that class so many times over the last 14, 15 years, and by different names and in different capacities. But it's really great to be able to finally have something on video as a structured course that everybody can look into. So if you didn't get the chance to take it, go ahead and hop over to our education page, take a look at it, because it's probably the most important information that I teach. Personally, I feel that way. It's changed my life immensely, more than any other single thing that I could possibly point to. And I think that it is for other people too. So go ahead and take a look into that if you haven't already. Let's see. I have also been preparing resources and teaching students for how to use the SE5. It's called Aurelian Analysis for IDF Wellness Research. And at the time of filming this, I still have 2 more weeks of that course. Of course, you can log in and register anytime that you would like. You would just have to purchase the course, but you can do that anytime that you want. You can catch in, but that is also being recorded and will soon be available as a full course on our education page, and I'm very excited about that. We've been going through each of the Aurelian entia of imbalances and showing IDF solutions not only for the analysis component but also the balancing component and what you can do. So if anybody is interested in performing the same types of IDF healing work that I perform, then that is a very awesome class, or course I should say. Also, anybody who's interested in the medical applications of Aurelian medicine will learn a tremendous amount by taking that course as well. So you don't even have to have an SE5 in order to perform that work or to take that class or to get something good out of it. In fact, we do have a student who's taking it right now who does not have an SE5, and she is still learning a great deal as well. So I love that course so far, and I'm very excited to continue building off of that foundational course because it's kind of like an overview. I've realized by teaching this course that I could teach, and every class is like 3 hours, sometimes 3.5 hours long. They're very, very long classes in that course because there's so much to cover, and I'm realizing like I could take each of the entia and give about probably 10 hours or more of focus to almost every single one of those entia and really do a deep dive and be more thorough. So I'm really inspired by teaching this work to go even deeper and show people a whole lot more and to get into the nuts and bolts and dive deep into the philosophy. That, of course, is one of the problems that we have with Paracelsian works, is that he gave a lot of reasonings for things, and he'd go off on these massive diatribes about why he feels that way, but everything was so unique to him, and he didn't have the ability to speak these things. He had to write these things, or rather, he would speak and lecture, and his students would write things down, typically while he was in a drunken state, especially near the end of his life. So that's one of the problems with preserving Paracelsianism, is that there's so many unique things that didn't have enough explanation to them. And so I'm hoping to learn from that and that mistake or that particular style, and being able to speak things and offer things in a much more efficient way is definitely a really cool thing. And hopefully these will be around for, centuries for future posterity, because I do think that all of this work that I'm doing will be infinitely more popular after my lifetime than it is during the course of my lifetime. But still, for any of you who are interested in that, don't hesitate to register for that course. It is fantastic, if I do say so myself, which I definitely do. Along with SE5 offerings and IDF work, we were actually recently offered to take over the entire CHIO business from the inventor, Don Paris. And so we now have a tremendous amount of IDF offerings, which is really, really great. Not only, of course, are we, authorized resellers of the SE5 and BOI, or broadcast only equipment, but we also have a wide range of different personal IDF solutions for just about everything that you can imagine. We have personal balancers that you can keep on your person in order to balance your own field. And these are all, like, we have customizable holograms to be able to work with these. We also have some pre-made kind of generic holograms that can go with these types of things. Everything from eliminating negative energy and balancing chakras to just overall wellness and vitality, sleep aid, like all sorts of different types of things, EMF protections. So the Chios are really awesome. We have personal ones. We have ones for an entire room, which can, essentially take up about 1,000 cubic feet. We have remote balancers. So if you want to be able to broadcast to yourself no matter where you're at and just keep your unit at home, we have a couple of those as well, which are great for people who want to be able to work on themselves, or even other people like family and friends and whatever else, and they're not going to be able to have a unit on them all the time. This is especially great for school-age children and all sorts of different types of applications. So we have a ton of things on there. We've also added all of our scalar balance mats and our scalar balance wristbands and our crystal amulets and IDF holograms of all different sorts, including for CHIO jewelry devices, which we have decided to no longer continue the jewelry components. They're very expensive, they're very difficult to build, and they take a lot also to repair if anything goes wrong. And so we have chosen to just kind of discontinue these personal wearable Chios. If you have one already, though, we do have chips. We do make chips. We have the hologram stickers so that you can make them yourselves if you have an SE5. We've got lots and lots and lots of IDF solutions now. And so to be able to actually offer this to our entire community is something that, obviously, as you can tell as I'm talking about it, very, very passionate about. And Nori has updated the website and put all of these things on there, and has a ton of different educational resources, primarily by way of videos, that are up there. We're going to continue adding educational resources and white papers and other studies that we've done and other different types of things like that, so that you have more information even to draw from. But just what's already up there is absolutely outstanding. So if you don't have a CHIO of some sort right now, you definitely should consider that. And I will be creating some video resources where I talk about each of the individual solutions and kind of what they're ideal for, and why you would want to choose maybe one over the other depending on what your needs are. So all of that will be coming soon, but all of the CHIOs are available at this very moment on the website. Also, let's see, I have also been running a lot of IDF investigations and analysis lately. Of course, I'm working on an individual live who is our test client, like kind of our volunteer research client, for the course that I'm teaching of Aurelian analysis for IDF wellness research. But I've also got a couple of family and friends and students that I've been working on. So I've been amassing a lot of data and just kind of refining some approaches and doing some really cool work. Of course, as many of you probably know, I really, really love the more obscure aspects of health and wellness that not many other people are addressing, especially as it pertains to ens spirituale, ens magicae, ens genesis, ens astrale, all of these different types of things where there are no other systems of medicine that talk about these particular causations of imbalances that arise. Those are some of my favorite things, of course, to work on. I'm the most passionate about those types of things, and I've had the opportunity to work on a lot of individuals, including breaking curses and eliminating entities and lots of other different types of things lately, so that's been really fun. Let's see. Also during April, we finished up a 2-gallon batch of freeze-dried cilantro spagyric tincture and also 2 gallons of Alpine Gold Shilajit for one of our very favorite white label clients. We had an annual Spagyrizyme sale from April 3rd to the 17th. That is a huge blowout. I think we do 50% off every year on that. So hopefully you guys were able to take advantage of that, stock up on Spagyrizyme. Again, I still don't think that if I could reduce all of the things down that I offer and that I've ever made and have a hand in selling and whatever else to just one product, that would be the product that I have and that I keep. I don't think that there's anything more important to the wellness arsenal than Spagyrizyme probiotic enzyme. I've said that numerous times. I have not changed my opinion on that. That continues to remain the same. So hopefully you guys are finding the benefit of that too. And then if you go on our website and read the reviews, I mean, they're rave reviews. Everything that we make is absolutely top notch and high quality. We go to be literally head and shoulders, or even hips, head and shoulders above every other competitor or person in the market, just by the quality and how we do things, and not cutting corners and ensuring the most pure energy possible, and so on and so forth. I mean, all of the different things that we do, there's not one thing you can point to that says like, this is what makes us stand out. It's a huge number of things that make us stand out. But in my opinion, Spagyrizyme is probably the biggest stand apart that we have from anybody else. So if you have never tried Spagyrizyme, you're watching this video for the first time, pick yourself up some. And at the time of watching this, we do have a Beltane sale going on right now, or at least at the time that this is being filmed. So you can take 25% off of just about all of our products online, except for Spagyrizomal Vitamin C and Alpine Gold Shilajit. So pick yourself up some if you don't already have some. Also during April, we filtered the herbal biomass and added salts to 11 new tinctures. Some of these are absolutely outstanding. I was able to find some farm direct sources of green turmeric and black turmeric. If I'm not mistaken, black turmeric has the highest curcumin content of any form of turmeric known to mankind, so it's massively anti-inflammatory, but both the green and the black varieties are a little bit bitter, much more so than the yellow is, and so it has this very cooling energetic to it because of that bitter, and it's also somewhat astringing as well, and not quite as pungent as yellow turmeric, so it's more suited for pitta or sulfurous body types and constitutions and imbalances. And like I mentioned, it's massively anti-inflammatory, so I am so excited that we will be able to have this soon, and to be able to see them all was really cool. We made some videos while we were doing that and took some photos of the colors. I mean, the color changes when you add salts back to turmeric variety is amazing. And actually, you may not get very many color changes if you don't know the techniques that I teach here in the laboratory. The color changes indicate that you have created the proper conditions to make a spagyric tincture, and not everybody knows how to do that properly. In fact, a lot of people, I would say, of all of the different businesses that I see popping up when I take a look at their work or when I reach out and talk to the proprietors and whatever else, their technique is terrible. From my perspective, I hate to say that because I want to support everybody in this, in this industry, or everybody supporting spagyrics, but they just have like a really terrible technique, and I can tell that they learned from people and places that didn't have 10 plus, 15 plus years under their belt before they started really teaching the work, or they never put in the time to actually like split test and question the tradition and do things in different ways to be able to see how they can get the very best results. just because the quality of their work is really quite awful. But with our work, you can definitely see that there are distinct color changes happening, which is an indicator that those iatrochemical changes and the processes of esterification and the activation of alkaloids and other things are actually taking place the way that it should be. So I'm excited for all of that. So yeah, we have black turmeric, green turmeric. We also have, and both of those were freeze dried. We bought them fresh, freeze dried them ourselves. We also have just standard yellow turmeric, freeze dried as well. And then to split test freeze dried turmeric versus dried turmeric, we also just have standard dried turmeric. So we've got an abundance of different turmeric varieties and those curcumins and curcuminoid types of substances that will soon be available on the website. We also freeze-dried ginger for the first time. In the past, I've done dried ginger and I've also done fresh ginger because they have two different temperaments to them in terms of how hot they are. Of course, dried ginger has less moisture and so it's very hot. And we also have fresh ginger, which is typically not so hot and doesn't seem to have such a negative effect on pitta or sulfurous body styles and conditions. So to freeze dry it, it was a really interesting thing. We also were able to get some of the sublimated ice back as a liquid from that so that I can run a couple of tests and see what that's good for. And of course, those sublimated freeze-dried waters are absolutely outstanding. You cannot get a better scent from those things. I know that a lot of people are into using hydrosols and other stuff like that, but last year at the Good Medicine Confluence, I actually presented on lots of different applications of using lyophilization or freeze drying in the spagyric and herbal laboratory, and the waters that you get from those things are extraordinary. In fact, in the alchemical corpus of things, you used to have to take fresh herbs, bruise them, stick them into a flask, and distill them in a water bath over days in order to sweat over some of that distilled water. And what it used to take days to do, and actually a lower quality of water in those older ways, I can do in about 24 hours very passively with the lyophilization equipment. And when you talk about keeping the scent and the medicinal profile of those herbal waters intact, it is better than anything you can imagine, including those old style distillation methods, as well as hydrosols and other things like that. There's nothing that beats the application of the lyophilized waters. And of course, you're not going to get a huge quantity from every plant, but you're going to get 100% of the water that is in there out as a result of that lyophilization technology. So that's really cool. We also had freeze-dried horseradish, which we have offered before in the past. That was very popular. We did that again because we recently ran out. And then we went to restock a few things like valerian root and red asparagus root. I'm having a hard time sourcing that really high quality red asparagus root that we are known for. People oftentimes comment on how amazing our red asparagus root is. It's one of my favorite herbs actually as well. And there's only one company that provides this particular variety and prepares it in such a way that it has amazing scent and flavor characteristics, and it's just unparalleled in its efficacy. So I've been sourcing a bunch of other red asparagus root and kind of testing around with it. So far, I'm kind of, I can't say displeased, but I'm not enthused about the same. It's not even remotely the same. It's like comparing entirely different plants as far as I'm concerned. We have two new offerings, Shatavari, which is a cousin of red asparagus, and we also have Vidarikanda, which Vidarikanda is an item of Ayurvedic and Siddhi pharmacopoeia, and in my opinion, I think it's one of the most important. I'm very excited to have it because it vitiates both pitta and vata conditions deep in the tissues, specifically inside of muscles and organs and stuff like that. And so people who have severe, long-standing pitta and vata imbalances can benefit from this, as can weightlifters and people who are looking to put on extra weight by way of muscle growth or just bulking up a little bit, especially people who have a very vata-style constitution or imbalances that they're dealing with. And we also made some more alpine galangal. So really, really fantastic. The Alpine Galangal is just, if you haven't tried it before, do yourself a favor, go on the website, order yourself a 5 ml of it pretty much as soon as you possibly can. You will thank me later. It is one of the most delicious, spicy, amazing types of flavors that you can possibly imagine. It will aggravate Pitta dosha, but it does help to balance Vata dosha as well as Kapha dosha, and it makes an excellent addition to cocktails, mocktails, various different types of drinks, curry sauces, all sorts of different types of things that you can use it for. Really, really fantastic. So yeah, aside from that, we scheduled a student for a private immersion study with a specialized mycological focus who will be coming shortly after summer solstice this year. So that's really cool. I'm very excited to work with her. She's been a friend of mine since Good Medicine Confluence last year, so excited to get some one-on-one time. Let's see, I have also been putting together some plans for upcoming group immersion studies that will be happening later this summer. I don't have dates locked in yet, but we're definitely going to be focusing on some of the distillation style works, and we're also going to be kind of showing entire processes to help elucidate all of the different individual alchemical processes that should be present in any and every bit of alchemical work. We're going to, of course, be working in the vegetable kingdom because it's accessible and safe for most people, especially first-timers coming in. And for those who have taken the transpersonal alchemy course or are taking it, you will be able to see each process as a living diagram showing you what the herb goes through, so that you have an understanding, an intrinsic understanding of those processes and can relate those processes to your internal work as well. So it is, you don't need to have taken transpersonal alchemy to get the most out of this course, but if you haven't taken it, then you won't get as much out of the course as what you possibly could, or the immersion study, as if you were to take the transpersonal course. So I definitely suggest getting into the transpersonal course now, going over all of the processes, and then being able to come study in the lab. You will get so much out of that. I guarantee that it will change your life. Aside from that, let's see, there were a lot of other things that happened too. Most of those things are kind of like behind the scenes works that are still in play. Most of them are too premature to talk about right now, but one of the things that we have been focusing on is our search engine optimization work, or our SEO work. You know, there are so many fly-by-night companies coming up that are offering spagyrics right now, who are trained by even some of my colleagues who I think are fantastic people, but the caliber that they're offering things at is diluting the entire industry, and it continues to set us further and further and further apart from the rest of the industry. Almost the rest of the industry is producing the exact same types of things in the exact same ways. They're not researching. It's really sad to me to see how little innovation is actually going into the work. And I can tell that a lot of the people who are starting these businesses have far fewer than about 5 years under their belt, which in my opinion is actually also completely unethical to start any sort of spagyric business without a very pronounced alchemical background for at least 5 years, and without a lot of research to be able to dial in the ways that you actually want things. It takes a ton of money and a ton of time to actually perfect your craft in any particular way. But as a result of all of these businesses, our organic search results have gone down, because the way that the Google and other search engine algorithms work is that they give priority to newer businesses. So we're constantly having to revisit that type of work just so that we can remain seen online when people are looking for, you know, high quality spagyric teachers, alchemists, alchemical teachers, different types of things like that. So we're always revisiting those things. That's been one of our biggest focuses during April, is making sure that we can remain highly visible, especially in the face of very subpar competition. So I think that's just about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at support@phoenixaurelius.org. And yeah, I hope you guys are all enjoying this beautiful, beautiful springtime. Happy Beltane or Beltane to every single one of you. And we look forward to seeing you again at our lab report next month.